Good morning. Chapter 19. The Greatness of the Sage. Number 1. Nidaga. I shall tell you further about the great truth. Listen to this truth with an attentive mind and with a heart full of love, until you attain with unhindered certitude the knowledge of the Supreme. The world, individuals, and the Supreme are all wholly illusory. All is of the nature of Brahman, which is full, which is full of consciousness. Exalted Brahman is your real nature. That is the real nature of all. 2. I am Brahman. There is no consciousness apart from me. I am Brahman. There is no insentience apart from me. I am Brahman. There is no existence apart from me. I am Brahman. There is no illusion apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no duality apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no unity apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself. I am all, there's nothing apart. Realize this forever. 3. I am Brahman, there is no delusion apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no Lord, Ishvara, apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no nescience apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no individual jiva apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no world apart from me. I am Brahman, there's nothing at all apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself. I am all, there's nothing apart. Realize this forever, my son. 4. I am Brahman, there's no being apart from me. I am Brahman, there is no universe apart from me. I am Brahman, there are no men apart from me. I am Brahman, there are no gods apart from me. I am Brahman, there are no animals apart from me. I am Brahman, there's nothing apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all. There's nothing apart. Realize this forever. 5. I am Brahman, there's no sin apart from me. I am Brahman, there is no virtue apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no sorrow apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no happiness apart from me. I am Brahman, there's nothing of the here and now apart from me. I am Brahman, there's nothing of the hereafter apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all. There's nothing apart. Realize this forever. 6. I am Brahman, there's no father apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no mother apart from me. I am Brahman, there's none else of mine apart from me. I am Brahman, there's none else of others apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no guru apart from me. I am Brahman, there's nobody apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all. There's nothing apart. Realize this forever. 7. I am Brahman. There's no holy river apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no charity apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no deity apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no worship apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no action apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no fruit of action apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all. There's nothing apart. Realize this forever. 8. I am Brahman, there's no body apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no enjoyment apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no yoga apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no knowledge apart from me. I am Brahman, there's no liberation apart from me. I am Brahman, there's not an atom apart from me. I am Brahman, Brahman is myself, and I am all. There's nothing apart. Realize this forever. Verse number 9. The I am Brahman knowledge will arise, and all will become Brahman, to the extent that the knowledge I am indeed Brahman becomes nirvikalpa, differenceless, doubtless. By the practice of all is Brahman, when there is not the slightest perception of the world, the individuals, or the Supreme, attain that I am Brahman state of mind that is filled with undifferentiated consciousness, and thereby rend asunder the bonds of originless transmigration. 10. Only he who has attained the knowledge of the undivided immediate presence, where nothing else appears, is the liberated. One who has attained such undivided supreme knowledge is rare to come by anywhere in this world. Out of countless millions of beings, the sage with steadfast knowledge would be only one. At the darshan, the sight, perception, knowing, discernment, meeting with, experiencing of him, truth will surge, and all the ego will vanish. 11. The darshan of a steadfast sage is a bath in a holy river. The darshan of a steadfast sage is the worship of a deity. The darshan of a steadfast sage is japa, repetition of a mantra, and tapas, intense practice. The darshan of a steadfast sage is the performance of duties. The darshan of a steadfast sage is a vision of Shiva. The darshan of a steadfast sage is service to Shiva. The darshan of a steadfast sage is rare to come by in all the three worlds for anyone. 12. By offering with pleasure generous food to a venerable sage, by giving with sincerity necessary material offerings to a meritorious sage, by doing a variety of devoted services to a supreme sage, the rare bliss of liberation can be easily attained. There's no doubt of this. 13. The great bliss of liberation, while yet alive, can be attained by securing the strength of knowledge, by the worship with flowers of a sage. Thereafter, liberation out of the body, by that bliss of liberation, can be attained. Hence, to attain the state of liberation with no cognizance of oneself, rid of the debilitating fear of repetitious birth and death, one should resort to the worship of a sage. Nidaga. Here again the certitude of a steadfast sage, repeated here by me. I am indeed Brahman, the mass of existence bliss. I am indeed Brahman, which is peaceful, changeless. I am indeed Brahman, which is of the nature of the space of consciousness. I am indeed Brahman, devoid of the world, the individual and the supreme. I am the generous, perfectly full supreme. Such is the definite certitude of the wise one with this awareness. I am Brahman indeed, which is the one and the greatest. I am Brahman indeed, which is the inmost of the inner. I am Brahman indeed, which is eternal and imperishable. I am Brahman indeed, which is the fullest of the full. I am Brahman indeed, which is truly unwearied. I am Brahman indeed, which is of the nature of the self of all. I am the Absolute, which is wholly non-dual. Such is the deep certitude of the wise one. 16. Indeed, I am Brahman, without merits or defects. Indeed, I am Brahman, which is the Guru of Gurus. Indeed, I am Brahman, which is devoid of time, of even a moment. Indeed, I am Brahman, which is illusionless. Indeed, I am Brahman, which is peerless. Indeed, I am Brahman, which is one, complete, and perfectly full. I am the Supreme, which has not an atom apart from it. Such is the deep certitude of the wise one. 17. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond the triad of qualities. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond the clear intellect. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond the Vedas. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond the wandering mind. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond everything. I am Brahman, indeed, beyond the body and others. I am the Supreme, which is untouched by any attachment. Such is the definite certitude of one who has consciousness. 18. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends wakefulness. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends the dream state. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends the deep sleep state. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends duality. I am Brahman indeed, beyond the bodies. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends all experiences. I am the Supreme, which is pervasive and pauseless. Such is the certitude of the peerless sage. 19. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends restless emotions. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends ignorance. I am Brahman indeed, which transcends multifarious things. I am Brahman indeed, which is beyond the highest of the high. I am Brahman indeed, which is the nature of consciousness. I am Brahman indeed, which is perfectly full in all ways. I am indeed the changeless Supreme Brahman. Such is the certitude of the peace-filled sage. This certitude exists only at moments when one is out of samadhi. absorption. Even this certitude disappears for the sage when he is in the sublime samadhi, totally bereft of bondage. Changeless in a state of perpetual samadhi, without any sankalpa, concept or fixed idea, or vikalpa, imagination, doubt, difference, or diversity. He abides motionless, without veils or sheaths, in the experience of supreme bliss. '21. Who can explain or imagine by words or mind the beatitude of bliss of the man of knowledge, without concept or fixed idea and delusion, abiding changelessly as the void, like motionless stone and wood, and merged unwaveringly in the changeless Brahman, like the indistinguishable mixture of milk and water. 22. Becoming Brahma, Hari and Hara, creator, sustainer, and destroyer, and becoming all the numerous gods, does not make one competent to talk faultlessly and appropriately, even a little, about the greatness of the knower of the Supreme, who indeed is competent to describe. Who indeed is competent to describe the sublime that soars above speech and mind. Who indeed is competent to describe the sublime that soars above speech and mind? It is extremely rare in any world to attain such knowledge that is totally untouched by ignorance. 23. The firm knowledge that I am Brahman is rare indeed in all the three worlds. It is very rare to see and talk to a sage who is steadfast in the knowledge of the Supreme, who is the embodiment of awareness, and has not come out of samadhi of the nature of the Supreme Brahman. If by any chance doing service to that Supreme Sage falls to one's lot, the supreme state of liberation will also result. 24. One who has his bath in the water that is the word sage will become the supreme of the nature of a mass of knowledge. Only those whose good merits acquired in several births have come to fruition will attain the darshan and such of a faultless sage easily in this birth. Is there any fear of rebirth for those who have attained the darshan and such of a faultless sage? 25. It is Brahman indeed that has declared thus. All else that is seen apart from the one perfectly full Brahman, is entirely a complete falsity. They're all absolutely unreal. There's no doubt in what is repeated here. Hence attaining the differenceless, undivided, supreme knowledge that all that is seen is Brahman, and that am I, you yourself become of the nature of the differenceless, supreme Brahman. 26. Out of love, I've told you thus, in brief, about the settled conclusions of all, the undivided absolute. Whoever has faultlessly understood this as explained will abide as the nature of the unattached Supreme Brahman. Whoever reads daily what has been said will properly attain the immaculate knowledge of the Supreme, and, abiding as the pure nature of the Supreme, be in bliss. 27. in order to establish firmly the knowledge of the Supreme. Again, here, unmistakably, the Supreme Truth now being declared. There never is anything, anywhere, at any time. What all is an aspect of the undivided Brahman. All the differentiated world is an aspect of Brahman. All beings are an aspect of Brahman. The Lord Ishvara, the Supreme, is also an aspect of Brahman. The Supreme Abode is also an aspect of the undivided Supreme Brahman. 28. What appears as the body is an aspect of Brahman. What appears as life and such is an aspect of Brahman. What appears as the king is an aspect of Brahman. What appears as the Guru is an aspect of Brahman. What appears manifold is an aspect of Brahman. What keeps on appearing as new is an aspect of Brahman. What appears as you or I is an aspect of Brahman. All appearances that arise are aspects of Brahman. 29. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman of that nature. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman without ego. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman without any of this duality. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman, which is the one consciousness space. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman, which is a mass of existence, consciousness, bliss. I am indeed the motionless, peaceful Supreme Brahman. I am the eternal, auspicious Supreme. Be of this changeless certitude ever. 30. I am indeed of the nature of pure existence, devoid of all. I am indeed of the nature of pure consciousness, devoid of all. I am indeed of the nature of pure bliss, devoid of all. I am indeed of the nature of the pure Supreme, devoid of all. I am indeed of the nature of the non-dual, devoid of all. I am indeed of the nature of the unafflicted, devoid of all. I am of the nature of the undivided Supreme, devoid of all. Be ever of this unwavering certitude. I am 31. I am indeed of the nature that is ever indestructible. I am indeed of the nature that is ever imperishable. I am indeed of the nature that is ever without a second. I am indeed of the nature that is ever one. I am indeed of the nature that is ever immaculate. I am indeed of the nature that is ever true knowledge. I am ever of the nature of the Supreme Brahman. Be easily of this ceaseless certitude alone. 32. I am indeed of the nature that is ever existing. I am indeed of the nature that is ever manifest. I am indeed of the nature of bliss. I am indeed of the nature that is ever all. I am indeed of the nature that is ever devoid of all. I am ever of the nature of the Supreme Brahman. Be easily of this ceaseless certitude. 33. I indeed am ever of the nature of the firmly established ultimate. I indeed am ever of the nature of pure consciousness. I indeed am ever of the nature of existence. I indeed am ever of the nature of the peaceful Supreme. I indeed am ever of the nature of the pure. I indeed am ever of the nature of the subtle supreme. I am ever of the nature of the supreme Brahman. Be easily of this ceaseless certitude. 34. I indeed am ever of the nature of the equanimous. I indeed am ever of the nature of the decayless. I indeed am ever of the nature of the well-established. I indeed am ever of the nature of the motionless. I indeed am ever of the nature of the blemishless. I indeed am ever of the nature of the partless. I am ever of the nature of the all-pervasive Supreme Brahman. Be easily of this ceaseless certitude. 35. I indeed am ever of the nature that is delusionless. I indeed am ever of the nature without ignorance. I indeed am ever of the nature that has no Lord, Ishvara. I indeed am ever of the nature that is without life. I indeed am ever of the nature of the Undivided Supreme. I indeed am ever of the nature of the non-dual. I am of the nature of the One Absolute. Be easily of this ceaseless certitude. 36. The Self is ever Brahman. Brahman is ever the Self. The Self is never apart from Brahman. There is never anything apart from the Self. All always is only the Self. All always is only Brahman. I am ever the Supreme, which is the Self. Be easily of this non-dual certitude. 37. By this undivided certitude now explained, remove all differences arising in your mind, down to the last atom. Difference is the greatest fear. As there is no sense of difference in the deep sleep state, there is no sense of fear. As a sense of difference persists in the waking and dream states, we see there is a sense of fear in those states. 38. Hence, by means of constant practice of the certitude of being the differenceless, undivided Absolute, remove the sense of difference, which is the abode for all great fear. Only he who has attained this certitude of the undivided Absolute now explained will be one who is liberated from the worldly bondage. Whoever takes to the practice of this means will be liberated from the bondage of the recurrent cycle of births and deaths. 39. He alone becomes the sage of undivided supreme knowledge, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. He alone becomes the Purusha, the spirit, man, in this world, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. He alone enjoys the bliss of the Self, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. He alone attains Jiva Mukti, liberation while yet alive, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. 40. Only he or she stands higher than all, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. Only he is rid of the misery of mundane existence, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. Only he attains unsurpassed bliss, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. Only he becomes the undivided Brahman, who at all times has the certitude that I am Brahman. 41. Only he who has attained the I am Brahman certitude is one who has shed all differences. Only he who has attained the I am Brahman certitude is one who has effaced all fear. Only he who has attained the I am Brahman certitude is one who is established on the seat of fearlessness. Only he who has attained the I am Brahman certitude is the one who is the embodiment of bliss. 42. Brahman is I am Brahman. One who has thus regularly practiced within himself to be always in this differenceless I am Brahman certitude shall become the absolute, the mass of existence, consciousness, bliss. Hence, by ever devotedly and incessantly practicing the I am Brahman certitude, you should eliminate differences, and you yourself become the undivided Supreme Brahman. 43. Nidaga, I shall tell you further the nature of the definition of the undivided Absolute without a second. The name and form that are seen as all never exist in the least at any time, never. All the different names and forms that are seen as divided are only the undivided Supreme Brahman. And that Brahman of the nature of knowledge is myself. This deep awareness is the certitude of the undivided Supreme. 44. I'm never the body or the possessor of the body. I'm never the senses or the sense organs. I'm never the living beings or the mind. I'm never the intellect or thought. I'm never the ego. I am never the ignorance that is the root of these. I'm ever the Supreme Brahman, and there's not a particle apart from me. Be of this certitude. 45. I am never born, nor do I ever die. I'm never a dullard or a deaf person. I'm neither a weakling nor a strong man. I am never forgetful, nor do I have sharp memory. I'm never ignorant, nor am I ever wise. I'm never in bondage, nor am I ever liberated. I'm ever the Supreme Brahman, and there's not a particle apart from me. Be of this certitude. 46. I'm never an instrument of action or an activity. I'm not the doer who accomplishes anything. I'm never the enjoyment, nor am I the enjoyable. I'm never the enjoyer who relishes anything. I'm never the cognizance, nor am I ever the cognized. I'm not the cognizer who cognizes anything. I'm ever the Supreme Brahman, and there's not a particle apart from me. Be of this certitude. 47. I'm never the penthead of sheaths, and I am never the experiencer of these. I'm never the triad of bodies, and I'm never the experiencer of these. I'm never the triad of states, and I'm never the witness who is conscious of these. I'm ever the supreme Brahman, and there's not a particle apart from me. Be of this certitude. 48. I'm never the integral aggregate, nor am I the distinct parts. I'm never the experiencer of these. I'm never the triad of anything, and I'm never any of the perceivable. I'm never the individual, the jiva, or the Lord, Ishvara. I'm never anything such as the world. I'm ever the supreme Brahman, and there's not a particle apart from me. Be of this certitude. 49. I'm ever the one that is existence, consciousness, bliss. I'm ever the one that is pervasive as all. I'm ever the one that is eternal auspiciousness. I'm ever the one that is unsurpassed bliss. I'm ever the one that is non-dual. I am ever the one that is undivided and perfectly full. I'm ever the one that is the supreme Brahman. There's nothing else, not a particle. Be of this certitude. 50. I'm ever the one that is immobile. I'm ever the one that exists stainlessly. I'm ever the one that is beloved of all. I'm ever the one that is one and perfectly full. I'm ever the one that is of the nature of the self of all. I'm ever the one that is peaceful and changeless. I'm ever the one that is the supreme Brahman. There is nothing else, not a particle. Be of this certitude. I'm ever of the nature, 51. I am ever of the nature of the partless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the blemishless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the attributeless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the taintless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the afflictionless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the peerless Brahman. I am ever of the nature of the undivided Supreme Brahman. There's nothing apart from me. Be of this certitude. 52. I'm ever of the nature of Brahman, which is full of existence alone. I'm ever of the nature of Brahman, which is full of consciousness. I'm ever of the nature of Brahman, which is full of bliss alone. I'm ever of the nature of Brahman, which is pure. I'm ever of the nature of Brahman, which is without a second. I'm ever of the nature of the Supreme Brahman, which is the One Supreme. I'm ever of the nature of the undivided Supreme Brahman. There's nothing apart from me. Be of this certitude. 53. By the constant, untiring practice of this certitude, of the undivided Supreme that has now been explained, forgetting completely all this duality of name and form, merging forever as a single essence in this undivided Supreme Brahman, and experiencing the joy of your own nature, you yourself fully become of the nature of the Supreme Brahman. 54. All duality is like disappearing dreams. All duality is like castles in the sky. All duality is like the misleading mirage. All duality is like marvelous magic. All duality is like the horns of a hare. All duality is like the horns of a man. All duality is like the sun born to a barren woman. All duality is like a flower in the sky. 55. When the Guru instructs his disciple properly in non-duality, he does not really try to educate the pupil about bondage-ridden duality. He will assess the mind of the disciple and accordingly grade his instruction to teach the great truth of differenceless non-duality. In friendliness, I shall give you an example of this principle I have laid before you. 56. Just as the ritual of the crying of the people who are called in to weep by the sun on the demise of his father with few relatives is only for the payment and is not for real. Likewise, the bringing in of duality by the Guru is only to explain non-duality to the disciple, and not because duality is real. There is no doubt of this. Therefore, you should forget the duality and become the embodiment of non-duality. 57. Being ever steadfast in the certitude that I am Brahman, Brahman am I, and I am all, continue in the I am Brahman bhava, forgetting all this duality. When the I am Brahman knowledge culminates in sense-free, mind-free, boundless being, become motionless like a stone, of the nature of Brahman, and rid of all weakness, enjoy unhindered bliss. 58. Thus have I explained to you the knowledge I am Brahman, as expounded to me earlier, for the benefit of all, by the Supreme Shiva, before whom the whole world prostrates. Whoever engages in listening, Shravana, of this rare explanation, shall obtain the unhindered, undivided knowledge of the Absolute, and shall become what is indicated by the aphorism, I am Brahman, of the nature of the undivided Supreme. 59. Only for those who daily worship the great Linga, the symbol of Shiva, the embodiment of undivided Shiva, by the study of the Vedas, by sacrifices, by vows, by the limbs of yoga, such as self-control and others, by means of the helpful holy bath, and by all other acts, shall the urge to realize the Supreme Shiva as differenceless arise. Steadfast knowledge grow, and delusion disappear. 60. The peerless, magnificent Linga is only the form of Shiva, who is the abode of the complete dissolution of all creation. A ceaseless meditation on this is its worship. Only for those who do such worship inwardly does knowledge arise, by the grace of the undivided Supreme Shiva. Thus, the sage Ribhu taught Nidaga about the undecaying Supreme. 61. It is the perfectly full form of our beatific Lord in a state of joyous dance that proclaims, by attaining the tranquil knowledge of the certitude of the Absolute, one can forget this perishable, manifold difference of name and form, instantly abide as the nature of boundless supreme consciousness without attachments, and be rid of all bondage. That was chapter 19. Have a really good day. Bye.